So now I'm asking you to condense into a single log. To condense into a single log, you're going to go in the opposite direction. Let me go back a few slides. Looking at this answer, I have this green answer here, 3/2 log base c. Now we're going in the opposite order. So if we go backwards, the first thing that I do is I put my powers up. Once I put my powers up, then I write it as a single log. So that's what we're going to do with these new problems. I ask you to condense into a single log. That means at the end of this, you're going to have a log base A of something. That's what we're looking for. A single log means one log. Okay, so working this in reverse, what I know we have to do is put our powers up. So I'm going to put this 5 up here, and I'm going to put this 3 up here. So what that's going to give me is log base A of x to the 5th minus log base A of y to the 3rd. Put your powers up first. Make sure you see that the A is by the g's tail. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to write it as log base A, and I'd like for you to open your parentheses. Okay, I'm going to have a single log of log base A. Go ahead and open your parentheses here. Now you have to decide where the x and the y go. You see that they're being subtracted. If the logs are subtracted, you divide the terms. So that means x to the 5th would be on the top and y to the 3rd would be on the bottom. When I'm subtracting the logs, I divide the terms. One other little rule of thumb that you can go by, if your log is negative, that means the term goes on the bottom. So that's another little fact that you can use. So my answer for this one is log base A of x to the 5th over y cubed. You'll say, you made a big deal about the parentheses. Do I have to put them? You don't. But you have to be really, really careful. If you said this is the log base A of x to the 5th over y cubed, that answer that you see at the bottom of the page is wrong. So you have to be really careful with how you write it. What you see at the bottom of the page and what you see that's correct inside the box, they are not the same. So by using parentheses, that's the best way to ensure that you put your terms in the right positions. Okay, let's try another one. I'm asking you to condense into a single log. To condense into a single log, you're going to start by putting your powers up. So we would have the log base B of x cubed plus the log base B of y to the 5th minus the log base B of z squared. Okay, so I put my powers up. The next thing that I'm going to do is write one log, okay, and that's going to be log base B. Okay, there's my single log. Let's open our parentheses. The rule of thumb is that if the log's negative, it goes on the bottom. So the z goes on the bottom. The other logs are positive, which mean they go on the top. Now, inside the parentheses, there should be no pluses, no minuses, because the rule says if you're adding the logs, here's your adding statement, if you're adding your logs, you multiply your terms. If you're subtracting the logs, you divide your terms. So since you are multiplying your terms, you do not need a sign in the middle. If you do want a sign in the middle, you'll know it means times. The last thing that you have here is called your change of base property. And your change of base property, it looks really bad. It's actually much easier to do than the theorem states, or than the property states. Now, what the theorem allows you to do, remember your calculator only does base 10 and it only does base E. So what if you wanted to do base 5 or base 2 or base 26 for that matter? You can't use your calculator. because it's not base 10 or base E. But now with this use of this change of base property, you can use your calculator. So what you're going to do is change to base 10 or base E, it doesn't matter, and you'll take the log of the big number, and then you'll take the log of the little number, and that will give you your answer. Okay, so let's look at this middle one, because that's one we've done several times. Let's go the old school way for a second. If we were working this one like we've worked earlier, we said 5 to what power is 125? And we know that 5 cubed is 125. So this answer would be 3. But you can also do it on your calculator now that you know you can change your base. So let me show you how to use your calculator. What you're going to do is, the rule says, take the log of the big number and divide by the log of the little number. It does not matter if you use the LOG key or the LN key. Either one would work. Just make sure you stay consistent and use the same one every time. Now let's talk about different calculators. Right now I'm using the TI-30XA. Okay? If you use the TI-30XA, here are your keystrokes. You hit 125 first. You hit 125, and then you hit the log key. At this point on your calculator, you see 2.0969. Okay, leave that in there. So what you've calculated is this top number, 2.09691013. Okay, after that, you're going to hit divide. And now I want you to hit 5 and your log key. Now what's on your screen is 0.6989. That's not your answer. That's this bottom number. So what you have to do next after that is you have to hit equals. Hit equals. When you hit equals, you get the answer. You get the answer 3. So again, going through that, clear out your screen. This again is the TI-30XA. Hit 125 log. So you have 2.0969 in your calculator. Divide 5 log. 0.6989 is what your calculator says. Equals, and that's how you get your 3. Okay, I'm going to stick with that calculator choice for just a second, and then we'll come back and try the other one. So for this one, log base 3 of 81, we'd hit the log of 81. And then we would press the log of 3. And when we enter that in our calculator, we get 81 log divided by 3 log equals, we get the number 4. Now, they're not always going to be that pretty, but that's how you could go back and work the ones that we started the class with. That's how you could go back and work those with your calculator if you wanted to. Looking at our last one, you'll see those are terrible numbers. You're going to take the log of 2,506 and you're going to divide that by the log of 7. 2,506 log divided by 7 log, remember to hit equals 4.0220 when you round off. Okay, so let's talk about the other calculator type for a second. The other calculator type is a TI-30X2S. Now, as far as how to start these, you're still going to use what I've used here with the red and the blue every time. So to use your calculator, let's just go over here to the right side. You want to take the log of 125, divide by the log of 5. Your calculator is actually a little bit easier to do. So when you get ready to try this one, you're going to hit the LOG key. When you hit the LOG key, the parenthesis opens up. At that point, you want to enter 125. Now, here's the thing you have to remember for this model. Close your parenthesis. Close it. So then after that, you hit the log of 125, close your parenthesis, divide, and then you hit the log of 5, close your parenthesis, close your parenthesis, and you get 3. Okay, so let's go to the 81 one. So you're going to hit log, L-O-G, 81, close your parenthesis, divided by log 3, close your parenthesis, equals. So for your last one, you're going to hit log 2506, close your parenthesis, divided by log 7, close your parenthesis, equals 4.0220 when it rounds. And that's what you got.